Welcome to this short study video on active learning study strategies. My name is Elaine Centers-Apico, and I am a graduate student in the College of Education and a peer academic coach at the Learning Center. In this video, I will cover how to get active with learning styles, tips to boost retention when studying, and how to apply what you learned in a study session to practice and improve recall. Learning styles, or learning preferences, are ways that people approach learning new information. Some people prefer to hear things, and others might prefer to see things written down or drawn out. While it's useful to know what your preferences are, it's most helpful to know how to combine learning styles to get active and engaged with the material. One learning style is auditory. Auditory means you prefer to hear information. Auditory learners might like to listen to a lecture or podcast as a method of learning. While hearing is important to auditory learners, hearing their own voice talk about the information is going to be critical to their ability to store and recall what they are learning. So while an auditory learner might start by listening to a podcast, they should follow that podcast up by talking to their friend about what they learned. This process will help them think about the material more deeply. Another learning style is visual. Visual learners gravitate towards imagery. They may focus on pictures and graphs when reading, or want to draw what they were thinking in mind or bubble maps. Visual learners may even want to color code information to help them organize. When visual learners move from looking at charts, pictures, and diagrams to actually creating them, they're becoming more active and beginning to process information at a deeper level. The last learning style we will talk about in this video is kinesthetic. Kinesthetic learners are action-oriented. They like to create, move around, and have tangible learning tools to help with understanding. A kinesthetic approach to learning by nature involves active learning approaches because it relies heavily on the process of doing in order to understand and process information. For example, in chemistry, a kinesthetic learner may need to create the chemical compound with manipulatives rather than just reading about them or seeing them on a page. A learner that can combine all of these learning styles when engaging with a topic, reading about it, talking about it, drawing out a chart or picture, creating a model or manipulative, will have multiple avenues of input and recall opportunities to practice the information, which will increase retention and recall. Now that we've covered different learning styles, we can focus on how to maximize your learning. Incorporating learning styles with repeated practice is a great way to work on retention of information. The more you see, hear, talk, and practice content, the more it moves into long-term memory, and the easier it is to recall it when needed. Repetition can come in the form of several short sessions of study throughout the day with lots of review and/or several study sessions through the week. The final topic I will talk about in this video is the idea of applying your knowledge. In many classes, it is not enough to know or memorize the definition of a word. You have to think more deeply about the concept and perhaps to be able to give an example of it or think about it as it relates to other concepts. This is called application, and it is very common in upper division coursework. To practice application when studying, you can try a few things. Group related items together as you learn them, helping you see the relationships and connections. Include examples of concepts as you learn them so you can see how concepts work together in real life. And practice creating exam questions as you feel confident with the material you are learning. By doing these things as you take notes and study, you are starting to think about applying your knowledge and developing a deeper understanding of what you are learning. This brings us to the end of our short video on learning styles, active learning strategies, and applied learning strategies. Remember that the more and more often you practice your knowledge, the better retention you'll have. If you'd like to work on applying these concepts to your own personal learning, you can visit a peer academic coach at the Learning Center. Appointments are free, and you can self-schedule through Beach Connect by clicking Get Assistance and then Academic Coaching. We hope to work with you soon at the Learning Center.